Fires tearing through the jungle, smoke swallowing entire cities. 36,000 hectares burned, 600 schools shut. The air itself has become the enemy. Now, two nations are seeding the clouds, hoping the sky fights back. Can they outrun the haze before it swallows the region whole? Southeast Asia is undergoing a series of disasters, one after the other. Indonesia is battling a major wildfire crisis, where huge fires are tearing through forests and peatlands and sending a thick, choking haze across cities and even into neighboring countries. Fires are burning across several regions, including West, Central and South Kalimantan, as well as Riau, South Sumatra and Jambi. More than 24,000 firefighters have been deployed, as authorities say more than 36,000 hectares have already burned across 10 provinces. Indonesia has also arrested 72 people suspected of starting some of the fires, while 4 companies are being investigated over allegations of using fire to clear land. President Prabowo Subianto has visited affected areas and ordered stronger efforts to control the smoke through the deployment of additional water-bombing helicopters and oxygen supplies for firefighters. But the wildfire emergency is not confined to Indonesia's islands. In Malaysia's Johor state, a bushfire along the Pungai Sebena Cove bypass road has expanded to more than 51 hectares. The incident was reported on August 24th, and the firefighters have since been working round the clock to extinguish the fire. The Johor Fire and Rescue Department said that the blaze had scorched areas on both sides of the road.
As of 8:30 a.m. on Tuesday, August 25th, we have extinguished about 15 hectares, or 29.2% of the overall affected area. Strong winds and dry weather have posed challenges for our team of 21 firefighters, on top of limited water sources and difficult access to the site.
Malaysia's worsening haze is also showing no signs of abating. According to the Department of Environment's Air Pollutant Index Management System, 30 monitoring stations nationwide have recorded unhealthy air pollutant index levels. Sarawak has been hit particularly hard, with the Syrian station recording an API reading of 180, inching toward the very unhealthy threshold of 201. Several areas in Peninsular Malaysia are also being affected. Shah Alam recorded 162, while Putrajaya reached 156. Other locations across Selangor, Kuala Lumpur, Perak, Johor and Negeri Sembilan also recorded unhealthy readings. The haze is now affecting daily life. Nearly 600 schools in Sarawak were closed last week as air quality deteriorated, affecting around 200,000 students. Authorities are warning vulnerable people to reduce outdoor exposure, wear protective masks, and stay hydrated. To deal with this emergency, the nations are turning to an unusual weapon against the flames: the weather itself. Indonesia is carrying out cloud seeding operations, dispersing salt particles into suitable clouds in an attempt to trigger rainfall over fire-hit areas. Around 30 aircraft are being used for water bombing and cloud seeding across Kalimantan, with another 22 helicopters operating over Sumatra. Malaysia said on August 24th that Indonesia had granted permission for its aircraft to enter Indonesian airspace to conduct cloud seeding operations along their shared border. At the same time, Malaysian Environment Minister Arthur Joseph Kurup highlighted the urgency to tackle the crisis as the country prepares for its National Day and annual Malaysia Day celebrations in key locations.
Malaysia is preparing an operational plan and could also offer help to Indonesia to fight fires if requested. The measures were critical to ensure that air quality improves as Malaysia prepares to celebrate National Day on August 31st to mark independence from British rule. Commemorations for the annual Malaysia Day on September 16th, marking the nation's unification, will be held in the eastern state of Sarawak on Borneo, one of the areas most affected by the haze.
But across both nations, the combination of dry weather, forest fires, and transboundary smoke is turning this into a regional environmental emergency. And as these conditions are expected to persist, the haze could remain a serious threat for weeks to come. In the outskirts of Palangkaraya, central Kalimantan, a 16-year-old has become an unlikely face of Indonesia's fire season. Unlike other children his age, Rudiansa spends his afternoons after school dousing flames near his family home, dressed in a Superman costume he already owned rather than letting it sit unused.
After school, I would just come home and help monitor the situation, rather than just staying home and being on my phone. I'd rather join the firefighting crew, because this is my home.
Rudiansa's father Mulyadi, working alongside him, says the teenager has picked up the routine simply by tagging along.
My son understands these operations because after school with nothing to do, he always joins us to fight fire. So he knows what to do.
Central Kalimantan is one of 6 provinces the government has flagged as a priority for wildfire mitigation this year, as blazes destroy crops and plantations across the region. The wildfire has not created just heroes, though. Indonesian police arrested 72 people over the weekend on suspicion of deliberately starting some of the blazes across Borneo and Sumatra. According to a director at the National Police's Criminal Investigation Agency, most of the suspects are accused of burning land to clear it for plantations at a lower cost, with investigators now tracing financial records to determine whether companies financed the clearing.
We will not stop at the perpetrators on the ground. We will determine who benefited from these activities and who was ultimately behind them.
The country's president Prabowo Subianto travelled to central Kalimantan, where more than 7,600 hectares have burned, promising helicopters and water pumps to help bring the fires under control and vowing to hold companies accountable. Behind the scale of this year's crisis sits an intensifying El Niño, which is suppressing the rains that would normally extinguish the fires. Satellite data recorded more than 224,000 hotspots across Indonesia by August 20th, a level researchers compare to 2019, one of the country's most destructive fire seasons. Much of the danger lies beneath the surface. Indonesia's peatlands, once drained for agriculture, become highly combustible and can burn underground for weeks, largely resistant to rainfall. Cloud seeding flights have resumed over Kalimantan and Sumatra, though experts note the method only works where clouds already hold moisture. With the fire season expected to intensify through September and October, authorities are now bracing for conditions that could stretch well into November.